Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. One last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined by Chocolate Sane, joining in the middle of the introduction, as I absolutely love it when they do that. 10th Man, Neil, Adam, and a whole bunch of people in Discord, so welcome one and all.
No batteries.
My discipline.
Good everyone.
Hey, Adam.
Chocolate's joined off.
There we go.
Sorry.
It's all right. That was your input yesterday as well. It was very amusing in the timing that it was. Frustrating for Witsit, but very amusing to me. Not that I'm, saying I approve of unintentional fundy muting that came from Chocolate yesterday. It was just the way it went down. Anyway, any evidence of a physical geometric sphere-edge horizon, formerly known as the curve of the Earth? Feel free to join in Discord. Nobody said anything.
Yeah, I'm just going to ask, is Discord live?
All right, yeah, my bad. Good morning, guys.
Hello, Chocolate.
I'm sorry
very
about
good
that.
to have you.
I don't usually hit my mute button. I don't know how that happened.
That's all good. It's a perfect start
Welcome
to the live
to my
show.
world.
Can we get a hey from Discord, as we've literally had nothing from you in the pre-show?
Good morning. How's it going?
Thank you, Stag. That's much obliged. Any evidence of physical geometric
Great show
sphere edge?
today.
Say again?
It was a great show today.
Oh, you like the extended live show, eh?
Oh yeah.
It's been trimmed out. I appreciate there's going to be plenty of people who did sit and...
Guys part too. That's unique.
Which bit was the best part?
Hello.
Hey, Arwin.
6 more hours.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
God,
not
not again.
Not going to happen today, no.
I'm still tired.
From the moment that show finished till now, literally, I did nothing but edit. So there's been several videos. If you remember, you'll appreciate that because you've got trimmed out videos. But whether or not you care that it takes me hours and hours to produce a 10-minute video is neither here nor there. I've been working all of that time till now. So I'm very tired. So it won't be an extended 3-hour show today, unfortunately.
You didn't have a sleep this night?
Obviously, I had a sleep. I mean, all of my waking hours. I'll be more...
Oh, okay.
Didn't realise I had to be hyper-specific about that. Okay, fine. Yes, I did get about 5 hours sleep in between babies screaming at me and jumping on me.
All right. Oh, you'll be fine.
I'll be all right, I'm sure. But we haven't got down to the nub of this nitty-gritty of physical geometric sphere-edge horizons, formerly known as an Earth curve.
Yeah, because it's only existent in the math based on considerations of geometry.
Nah, that's old news, man. they don't claim that anymore. They just ask us, why do we expect to see it?
Because
that's weird.
Chocolate, they are sure.
Yeah, anti-flat earthers ask why we would expect to see the horizon formerly known as Earth curve. And Chocolate's pointing that out because the rhetoric of Earth curve is that we'll see it and it blocks boats and buildings at a set value, 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. And we debunk that with the black swan. Net result? Go ahead, Chocolate. Why?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Why would we expect to see Earth curve?
Pocket.
I was waiting for you to repeat the same thing. No, why would we expect to see Earth curve is the response after we debunk the black swan. In other words, why would you say that we should see a physical obstruction at the horizon that we call Earth curve? Why would you say that, flat earther? I wouldn't. You would. We've debunked it.
because they tell us a story about, the Earth being a sphere with a radius of 59 miles. And that, boats and buildings are being blocked by this in the distance. But then when we give them examples of when it's not, we're asked, well, why would you expect that to be the case? As we tell you that that's the case. So, yeah.
Bit like you and your reference frames are ruined. Why would you expect Earth to turn beneath stuff and cause 15 degrees an hour drift, flat earther? I wouldn't. It's your claim. We've debunked it. Just showing the absurdity of your claim doesn't mean that you have to suddenly tell us that we shouldn't expect to see your claim. That's not a defence. It's an anti-flat Earth globe heretic defence, and that's precisely what it is, globe heresy. When you say, why would we expect to see Earth curve? Shout out
And
to...
then when they say,
Hold on 1 second.
when they
Shout
say
out to,
refraction,
shout out to Rich P. Says yesterday's show was one of the best. Ether Wars. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it, Rich.
when they say refraction, why is that a win for us at the same time?
Because that debunks their geometry in the first instance. Their assertion is that they've got a tangent point horizon known as Earth curve at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. It's also the methodology used to derive the R value in the first place to make that assertion. If you bend that line, that tangent, that very premise of the geometry, you no longer can assert the geometry. It's a self-defeating rebuttal.
10th man, does the ground refract or does light refract?
You'd have to ask them.
I don't know.
It's their response.
They
They say the ground refracts when they describe their explanation for refraction in response to the black swan, which is to say that the hill that's Earth curve, your horizon, that should be in the way, according to the globe claim, at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, that physical hill in the way is behind the thing it was blocking. So their version of refraction is we moved the physical obstruction, the hill in the way, behind the thing it's supposed to block, and that's perfectly acceptable because our word refraction does that. Refraction's just light traversing a medium and changing direction as it does so, a deviation from straight. Snell's law. However, their refraction is based on an R value that is in requirement of the geometry in the first instance. Hence, in answer to 10th man's question, when they say refraction, it's a self-defeating rebuttal. You can't refract your geometry. It's geometry. It's not optical, it's geometric.
It's game over.
And don't forget the coolest part ever is that they take their radius and put it in an equation and change the radius, essentially changing the size of their globe so that they could prove the radius that they just had to change. It's great.
The Arwinian paradox. So what Chocolate's now saying is, if you're going to say that you're going to move the physical hill in the way with a word that means light deviating from straight, that would be refraction terrestrial in their instance, then you are moving the position that you got the R value with to move it with the R value. So 7/6 of the radius of Earth is terrestrial refraction in standard form, or any other variation of that value, always based on R. Well, R's the geometric value that you're relinquishing by moving it with the value it's based on. It's a paradox.
Right. You're trying to change something that is in the formula you're using to try to change it.
Yeah, you
It's
debunk the
literally
R
self-defeating.
to try and explain why you haven't got R with R to move R. It's nonsensical, it doesn't work, it doesn't make sense, it's paradoxical. Any evidence of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
Well, there would be if the flight from Charlotte to LA took an hour and a half.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty good proof that Earth was turning if Earth turned underneath things that left that non-inertial turning reference frame. I would accept that as proof.
I want to know about this
Thinking of
new
that.
technology, about Coriolis correction machinery. I want to know about that.
Thinking of that, I had a laugh yesterday when I went on a website and looked at flights going out to the West Coast, and they had a whole list of the flights. And I had a bit of a chuckle when I noticed, wow, look, all the flights coming back towards the east, they're all pretty pretty much shorter than all the flights going out to the west. Well, that's weird if you're flying to the east and your destination's actually moving away from you as you fly towards it. That's a little weird, but I guess people don't notice things like that.
No, but we'd have to
Chocolate.
notice it. That's what I'm saying. I would accept that as a globe proof. You know, if you say, okay, well, if we're on a sphere that's turning, then we're going to see a drift at 15 degrees an hour as you rotate underneath things that aren't attached, like a football or a bullet. Well, okay, I'll accept that. Show me, or if I can observe me turning beneath things that aren't attached, the consequences of that would be shortened flight times, as 10th Man points out. You know, you'd have an westbound flight from Charlotte, North Carolina to Los Angeles, and it would travel over the ground that moves underneath it. Now, that is the requirements they claim are in place when they say there's a Coriolis effect. That's you turning beneath things to watch them seem to drift because you turn beneath them. So the globe's claim to turn beneath stuff. And if it did, we'd notice, and I'd accept it as proof. Now, because we don't see that happening, we're told by people like Simon Dan, you and your reference frames are ruined. Which is basically Dan saying to me, how absurd to say Earth should turn underneath things. Even though that's the prerequisite for having Coriolis effect, which we don't observe. There is no Earth-based Coriolis effect. So because there's no Earth-based Coriolis effect, that's you turning beneath things that aren't attached. They look at things that are actually rotating, like hurricanes. Now, for hurricanes to be part of the Coriolis deflection, you'd have to be in the hurricane spinning, watching things that aren't in the hurricane spinning, seeming to drift because you're turning. That's how you'd have Coriolis effect. But they've taken an effect of something with an actual spin direction to bamboozle people who don't understand what Coriolis effect is. The effect is you on a roundabout, watching a ball tossed over the top, look like it takes a curved path. Well, the way you have that curved path observed, that's the Coriolis force, and not actual force, a pseudo force, because the ball doesn't actually curve as you turn beneath it on a roundabout. So to have the effect of Coriolis drift, you must turn beneath the ball on a roundabout, and the observation you describe is the effect. So a hurricane isn't you turning underneath wind on a turning Earth. It has absolutely nothing to do with it, nor does water going down the drain in a swirling motion have anything to do with Coriolis effect. They're bamboozling people because there is no actual observable Earth-based Coriolis effect to see. That would be you turning beneath things, seeing them seem to drift. And if we're turning beneath aeroplanes to see them seem to drift, then they'd have their westbound flight times massively reduced, as 10th Man pointed out.
I'd like to point out something else that Chocolate brought up. Chocolate, you were looking into flights, and the west to east was shorter in time to reach destination than east to west. Is that what you said?
Definitely, yes.
Okay. So I've been on those flights before, and sometimes when there's a jet stream to catch, say 100 miles per hour helping wind, that's what happens.
Yep.
Interesting, the Earth is also going in that direction if we lived on this spinning Earth. So you can add that 100 mile per hour. In some arguments, they'll say, well, the Earth and air are moving together, I guess. But in any event, when trying to fly, sometimes you're going into the jet stream and sometimes you're not. But interestingly enough, you've got a 100-mile tailwind getting you west to east quicker than if you were going east to west. And if you're at the latitude of, say, Charlotte, you should have 750 miles of Earth coming at you and only 100 mile against you if you hit those same winds in the opposite direction. How come that's not happening?
I like how you phrased it. It's coming at you. See, the way Quantum Eraser phrases it in his description is you take off from the ground at Charlotte and you've got California coming in your face.
Yeah.
And I've had a pilot actually confirm that, because when I worked at the airport, and like this is for me way before flat Earth, wasn't really thinking about anything like that in a flat Earth context or stationary context. just thinking, well, why? And I'm looking at the flights because I used to take these flights all the time, and I'm thinking, well, why are these flights so different, right? The same destinations, but it just seems like getting back to the east is always a lot faster. And I asked one of the pilots while I was on a break, just hanging out on the plane, well, why is that? Why does that happen? And he said the same thing that you just said, Tim. It's the jet stream. They catch a good wind, and there's a particular jet stream or however they say it that they catch, and it always gets them out to the east faster than out to the west.
Like a surfer catching a wave.
Basically, yeah.
Which is a consequence of the claim of Coriolis effect, because often we get into a discussion from that point forward where the globe defender or globe heretic starts to tell us how the globe Earth claim is defensible because the projectile, in this case aeroplane, compensates for that shortened flight time. They correct for this effect that the globe Earth claims, and that simply isn't possible. Now, this is a little bear trap that Wolfie6020 recently fell into. The actual claim that the globe makes is that we have a Coriolis deflection, and the only way to observe Coriolis deflection is if you are turning beneath things you're observing. It's got absolutely nothing to do with the actual trajectory, because you're seeing a not actual trajectory. The path that you seem to see the plane take isn't really the path it takes. The plane travels straight and you see it seem to take a curved path if you're turning beneath it on a roundabout. Or a globe Earth. Obviously, if we are turning beneath aeroplanes on a globe Earth, the consequence is that California's coming in your face when you're travelling from Charlotte, North Carolina. Well, if that's the case, we'd notice, and there's no defence in regards to a globe defender trying to get around this problem of us not observing the effect they say we'll see, because the effect that they say we'll see is only observable as you turn beneath. That's how Coriolis effect is observed, and that's what the globe is claiming, Coriolis effect. So if you can only observe it from the ground, and you can only observe it as a not actual deflection, i.e. it's not really happening that way, then you can't compensate in a plane for something that is being observed from the ground, because it's not happening in the plane. It's only happening, or seeming to happen, as you turn beneath on a roundabout, or claim to be globe Earth, that we'd notice if that happened. So they've got no get out when you peg them to the actual effect they're claiming, which is Coriolis drift, only observable if you're turning beneath. And we're not. Earth's not turning beneath anything.
Nathan, I just don't want the audience to miss the two nuggets here. Number one, they say, the ballers, anti-flat earthers, that Earth and atmosphere move in lockstep. Well, the fact that a pilot would say that the jet winds at a certain elevation help them get to the East Coast faster, that disproves that, yes or no?
Well, no, because of not what you're trying to get me to respond to, and I'll explain why. No, because they don't claim Earth and atmosphere moves together, because the Coriolis effect is a two reference frame effect, you very much separate from the thing you're observing. So if they say, well, no, Earth and atmosphere move together, well, then no Coriolis effect, because to have the claimed Earth-based Coriolis effect, I must be on a claim to be turning Earth, turning beneath things I observe to seem to drift when they're not really drifting. So I'm going to be turning beneath to have this described, not told by an anti-flat Earth / globe heretic that Earth and atmosphere move together, because that's only one reference frame, unlike the globe's claim of two.
Yes, that's the initial death. But then they become globe heretics by saying Earth and atmosphere move lockstep, correct?
Well, that's essentially telling me that the reference frames that the globe Earth claim are two reference frames are ruined. If they say Earth and atmosphere move to one, aka there's no drift at 15 degrees an hour to observe, then what? My reference frames are ruined? There's only one of them? No, the globe's claiming two, Simon Dan. When you tell me they move together, there's only one. And the globe claims Coriolis. That's me turning beneath on a non-inertial turning reference frame, observing things not attached to the non-inertial turning reference frame in an inertial reference frame, seeming to drift because I turn beneath them. An effect we do not observe in our day-to-day lives as we stand on the ground. You can observe it if you spin beneath an aeroplane on a roundabout in a playground, because then you're turning beneath it and you see the effect described as Coriolis of the plane not taking a path it's actually taking because you're turning beneath it on a bloody roundabout. Shout out to Godzilla37 who says, Getty VBR Shenzi Bigutu, Joe Biden, who incidentally also believes in the globe model. I've no idea what that quote is. I'm sure I butchered it badly, but thank you very much indeed for the super chat, Godzilla37.
Yeah, I'm not arguing what you're saying there. That's the initial and final death, and no need to go into the begging the question of anything. But the anti-flat earthers who are globe heretics have said those statements, have they not?
In defiance of the globe claim?
Yes, agreed. And in that context, where they lose immediately, they have another problem when they say it. And the problem is the pilot says, hey, I had 100-mile-an-hour tailwind, and it got me to the East Coast. Well, that destroys lockstep, does it not?
Well, any direction other than, what would it be, eastbound wind debunks that claim.
Correct. So then the what you're left with is back to the original claim that the Earth is spinning at 750 miles per hour at that latitude. You got 100-mile helping and 750, and the return flight with the Earth coming at you at 750 is shorter, as Chocolate said. They're in the world of hurt here.
And you could just link that up as another okie doke, like from question number one. Their okie doke is refraction. When asked about their geometric horizon, and they claim refraction, it's almost the same thing. It's another get out. Oh, well, do we have these two reference frames? Do we have the Earth spinning underneath the air? No. Like you said, they'd say, the air and the ground are moving in lockstep. So that's why we don't see it, because that's always what it is. It's the okie doke. They'll tell us why we don't see what we're supposed to see according to their claim.
And if we did
they have
see,
to go by reality. Go ahead.
If we did see what they claim, then every pilot would be delighted on that trip because they'd get there sooner when California's coming in their face.
Be a hell of a time if you got a runway facing different directions. I don't know. Landing a plane on a spinning runway would be a hell of a thing, but hey, that would be life on a ball, wouldn't it?
Did you ever see in your time working at the airports, Okie Doke Airlines? Was there ever an airline like that?
Okie Doke Airline.
Right, let's move on. Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
Nah. It's over here.
That's Arwin's line.
I do a plain pun, and you say, let's move on.
Arwin says it's over there, and I say it's over here.
Oh, okay. It's over here. No, it's over here. No sun distances, no hour assumptions, no 93 million miles. Feel free to join in from Discord. Johnny B, feel free to join in.
Okay, maybe I can say, maybe the sun is more like a apparent phenomenon. You never know where the sun is because it is moving all the way with you. So, no, you don't know how far the sun is.
We do have a reasonable idea where it is above, i.e. its GP.
The super GP?
That is just the angle. You get the angle, but you can never get the distance.
No, agreed.
How could you ever distinguish between the GP of the sun in one place or another if those two places are on the same side of the ball, which is supposed to be on half of the ball, which is supposed to be being lit up by the sun at the same time? How does that check out?
Doesn't.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Next question. Thank you.
Yeah, feel free. Do you say next question or can I ask a question? we'll move on. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
I mean the house question.
Yeah, any scientific evidence of gravity?
No, but there might be some explanation. That's it. There's no scientific knowledge of mass, Antarctic mass. That's for sure. And the concept of space-time, no way, Jose. So, but there might be some static downward bias, yes. We have electronic function in our world, and we have downward bias that has been proved, and it can be tested in a lab. That's it. But that is only for the acceleration, not for anything else. For the acceleration, everything. Then we have a density and so on. That's clear up the most of it. Did you got it?
So, any scientific evidence of gravity?
No.
Well, Neil deGrasse Tyson says he doesn't even know what it is.
As far as what it is, we don't
We
know.
don't know what it is. Nobody knows what they are talking about. It's just a fantasy.
Can you chocolate do a mic drop as good as Neil deGrasse?
Yo, you do that too good, chocolate.
I'm getting a
But
time
I am
warning
saying-
on, just one sec. I'm getting a time
Excuse
warning
me.
on Google Plus. So it's saying we haven't got long
Excuse-
left on this call unless I upgrade, which is new
That's
to me.
that's what I just got. It
I got
said
that
to
a
me
few
too. I
minutes
got
ago.
10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it. Mine says this call will end in 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's what mine
This
says.
call will self-destruct.
Okay, so if this call does self-destruct in 2 minutes, you guys are going to have to join Discord, I'm afraid. So, 'cause there's
Your
not much I
mission,
can do about
Mr.
it.
Phelps, if you decide to choose it.
Well, I can pay $8 a month, but given I'm paying the same for my electricity as my mortgage at the moment, I don't think I'm going to do that. We'll see what else I can work out. But there we go. So if it does cut you off, guys, just join back in Discord.
Well, I'm going to click on it and see if it gives me an option. If I lose you, don't do it.
I've already done it. That's why I've transitioned to a different screen just to be able to check it.
And I was blaming Alabama. I said, what's going on in Alabama? They're giving me 10 minutes to a call?
I'm getting time limitations from Google. Better hurry up or give us $8.
Finish up the housekeeping questions before they get us.
I better do the housekeeping questions quick. Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
Negative.
Impossible. They can't vary the independent variable.
Any evidence that you can have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container to press upon?
Never.
I have to say that it's impossible. You need always container to behold the gas pressure. So no.
What's your accent, Johnny?
From I'm born in Iceland.
Iceland?
Iceland.
Iceland. Cool. Very cool.
Oh, shoot. It's going. This call's about to end and there's a line moving across. Oh, my God.
Yeah, you'll have to join back in Discord.
I'm very close to the North Pole. Yeah, that's good.
Should we have like a 3, 2, 1? See if it actually does kick us. There we go. End of the call. This call has ended. Bum holes. So hopefully those guys will join us back in Discord anyway. We'll see how
If the
cooperative
house questions are.
We'll see how cooperative you are with the rest of the housekeeping. Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
That's a joke. You cannot have a molten magnetic something and get this magnetic. If something is melting, you cannot have it magnetic. So no.
Might try them on Skype. I could try, although it's going to annoy absolutely everybody. I'm going to see if I can do a call on Skype. It's been a while since I've used Skype on this call. If you're out there, guys, join the Skype call. This group is too large to ring. Oh, that's good. So it won't annoy everybody. Hey, 10th, can you get a check? 10th, can you hear me? Hello? Oh no, I'm on mute in Skype. Hello, 10th, can you hear me? Check, check. Well, this is going to be a bit of a disastrous last half of this live show by the looks of things from yesterday's wonderful one. It's going to go badly wrong today.
It's okay. It's going fine. So long as we can talk about Coriolis again.
We could. I'll carry on with the housekeeping with you, Johnny. You're being reasonably cooperative. And of course, as soon as I want to do anything complex, everything's grinding to a halt on my computer. I'll get a new computer soon. I'll be rattling my way through this problem at the sound settings, but Skype's just gone black. Everything's grinded to a halt. I've got to stop pressing buttons. Oh dear, such is life.
Oh dear, it's exactly, yes.
Where were we in housekeeping? See how lost I am when I got things going wrong. Got Neil in the Discord server. Hey, Neil.
Are you lost them all?
It's the curse of Discord. So even Neil, when he joins Discord, is stopped rumpusing and generally abusing the mute button. Can you hear us in Skype, by the way, 10th? No, I don't know what's going on with Skype. Can I get a hello from you, Neil? Clearly not. Has everything died? Have I lost my internet connection?
Yeah, but you're connecting with me.
It's just like it's just you and me, Johnny. It's just
because I am on Discord. I know. I understand.
Yeah, I was hoping some of the other panel members would actually join and bail me out, but clearly even Neil won't reply to me.
Because they are using Skype. Nobody uses Skype anymore. Just you and someone.
Well, we'll let Johnny take over. I think that's what has to happen.
Yeah.
No, I am just trying to say something at that time. Maybe I can say something about Coriolis then.
Yeah, I mean, we've asked the question already. What did you have to say on Coriolis effect? Did you want to add something on it?
Yeah, there's a big problem about the Coriolis is that there's a different explanation for Coriolis, and there's a big misunderstanding what Coriolis is. And they think they are talking about it like that it's a force. Yeah, but okay, if they want, I understand this effect they are talking about, but that has nothing to do with Coriolis. Coriolis is just, what can I say, optical illusion. First of all, okay, it's a real effect, but you need two reference frames to get it. Sometimes they are trying to explain Coriolis on the same reference frame. That's absolutely wrong. They have to understand what is in the beginning, what it's about, and don't call it Coriolis then. Do you understand? They are not using the right term for the effect they are talking about, or the force or what they want it to be. They have to really know what it's about. It's just a Frenchman, a mathematician, that said it was an illusion that you reserve if you're from reference frame to, example, the sky. Then everything will bend away from you if you're on a rotating reference frame, right?
Yeah, correct. What you're experiencing isn't really happening. You're seeing the ball seem to curve as you turn beneath. So the effect that's being described is an illusion.
It's an illusion, yes. It has nothing to do with force. They shall never use the word force without. What they are trying to do, talk about is like a centrifugal force or something, something like that. And centrifugal force is on the same reference frame, if I understand that. Right. So
You're-
you can never talk about forces like that as a Coriolis.
Right, because it's not a force.
I'm back.
Oh, brilliant,
It is
Neil.
not a force.
Oh, good, I've got Skype working. Hooray.
I hope it's coming
So
through again.
if you were a participant in the G Plus panel, if you can join the Skype Master D, that'd be great. What did we get to in housekeeping, Neil? Because I've completely lost track.
Right, check.
Yeah, we hear you, Adam.
Back to Skype. Old school.
Molten, we got to the molten iron core, Nathan.
Any evidence of the R value, Earth radius? And if you're out there 10th, you can join the Skype call again. Sorry, it didn't work. There we go. I actually prefer the look of this.
Okay,
don't-
now I can hear everybody if I go into YouTube. Now everybody is in.
Can you hear Neil talking? Can you just give us a shout, Neil?
How's everything
Hey,
going?
on
Back
Discord,
track or we
nobody
lost?
coming through Discord.
Yeah, just try one more time, Neil.
No.
How's everybody doing in Discord? Am I coming through loud and clear?
Can hear you now, yeah.
Brilliant. My apologies for the
two.
last 7 minutes if you're in the audience. That wasn't my finest minutes. We're back on track now. I've got a panel back. Thank God. I think we've concluded the housekeeping, though, as messy as it was. I don't think we left anything out.
It's okay. I was able to talk about the Coriolis, so I am happy for it.
I couldn't be more grateful to you, actually, Johnny. I'm elated that you're here. 16 people in Discord, almost total silence if it wasn't for you.
Johnny was the only one happy that this happened.
Yeah. 1 month's death is 1 month of the bread.
You guys know who QNFEE is?
Yeah.
What's his problem?
Fee. Yeah. Belgian or Dutch dude.
Sounds like a scam beta called DVR. I'm sure it isn't the same guy, but he sounds just like him.
He's been around a while.
Yeah, I went and watched his videos, thought this is all right, and then subscribed. And then, like 2 videos after I'd subscribed to it, he brings up a video where I'm discussing urine therapy with Dave Murphy and has the interview that I'm doing with a whole bunch of other people who were discussing it at the time. And then basically has endless clips of Dave talking about urine therapy. I looked at it, I was like, what the hell? Okay, so I've interviewed somebody about this particular discussion. And now you want to tarnish me with this like I'm doing something wrong. Or Dave, for that matter. More power to you, Dave. If you want to drink urine, good for you. But
Dave,
why attack me on it? I don't get it, QNFEE, if you're watching this. I have no issue with you. I'm not a shill. I'm just here trying to promote the virtues of flat Earth. What? I don't get it.
Dave Murphy's a big exponent of urine therapy. I'm not. When I met up with him on the tour, I met up in Venice. And we're packing up for the day, and we've got this big golf trolley that we're loading all the, the display material on to lug it back. And as we're going up and down these Venetian bridges, over each canal, you're picking the thing up, putting it down, and it's well wobbly. And it's toppled to one side. I tried to grab it, and it's ended up ripping and gouging a big chunk out my thumb. Oh, killing. Yeah, giving it a little shot, carrying on. Dave comes over to me all concerned. We'll get infected that. Do you want me to piss on it for you? No, you're all right, mate. I'll risk it. But big exponent of drinking in it and using it for sterile purposes and all sorts.
Sure.
I've looked into it.
You're missing my point.
Poo-poo it.
I'm not questioning the validity of that. I'm saying, why attack me for it? Number one, I'm not a proponent of urine therapy. While I have looked into it, like I've looked into 9/11 or whatever else that was interesting when I first got here in this conspiratorial, truth-seeking realm that we find ourselves into, there was all sorts of crap that I looked into. I'm not saying that's crap either. Don't take my words out of context. I'm just saying there was very different things that I interviewed people about, some more crazy than others. But QNFEE has chosen to attack me for that, and I don't know why. I haven't got any beef with the guy, and he seemed like a reasonably good YouTuber when I subscribed to him. It's just like, why have you immediately turned on me? I don't get it. What have I done to you? Am I doing something wrong? I shouldn't care, but I do.
Some beef with him and Paula in some chat last week or something. So whether that's something to do with that, but I don't know. I've always thought he was just dealing with the ballers, calling them a piece of shit. You piece of shit.
Exactly. So you hear him talking about Sean Hawkins like he's a piece of shit, and then he's talking about me in those terms. You're like, well, okay, I don't really follow why this is the case. What am I, a shill now? What? I thought we passed that in 2018. I thought we all got over that, but clearly not.
Well, maybe he just likes to blather on. He had a back and forth with Brian. Brian went to his chat, he told me, and then they had it out. So I think Brian could shed some light on this.
Brian's not here.
Mike check?
No, I'm not saying he's here. I'm saying when Brian comes, it's a good question to ask Brian, because he had a back and forth. He said a few things in this channel chat, and he's got more on it. I've seen some of his work, and I don't care for the guy, period.
Listened to a few bits yesterday. I'm just doing a little bit of reading. So I am interested in this, genuinely. But what I was hearing was that I think that Tesla didn't believe in electrons and atomic theory. I've looked into that a little bit. There is some other detail. He's discussing things, and what I found interesting was this statement. He's talking about the sun and goes into detail further down about the effect of the atmosphere and that in terms of this. But in terms of transmission from the sun, he's not mentioning a distance, but he's just linking it with an assumed vacuum. But I'll just read the quote, which I find interesting. Before the electron theory was advanced, so I think it's in 1891, he's describing electrons as discrete particles that are no longer divisible. But this kind of reiterates the point, I think. So before the electron theory was advanced, I had established that radioactive rays consisted of particles of primary matter, not further decomposable. And the first thing to find out was whether the sun is charged to sufficiently high potential to produce the effects noted, which goes into more the electric universe stuff. But the thing I found interesting is that statement. He says, I think it relates to 1891, I had established that radioactive rays consisted of particles of primary matter, not further decomposable.
Okay, I am definitely not following along with your point. I'm really sorry.
The point was that we've been discussing ether a little bit, and Tesla is a great exponent of that. But it appears he would be describing the electron as a discrete unit of matter, not a perturbation, the ether.
I see. So you're highlighting a potential misapprehension.
I'm very intrigued because when I heard Tesla being an exponent of it and his understanding of electricity, I was intrigued into that. Now he does make, let's say, some criticisms up here, but really it's talking about how we conceive of the electron in of itself and some of the improbabilities that would occur with the current conception, that being a hollow bubble. But then he's talking about issues with that particular conception. But in of itself, 1896 it is, sorry. In of itself, he's making that statement. I'll just go back to it, that I had established that radioactive rays consisted of particles of primary matter, not further decomposable, which would, to me, sit more in, I don't like this phrase, an atomistic viewpoint, as opposed to a field permutation viewpoint.
Of interest,
Maybe a bit of both.
I'm following.
Is your audio okay? Are you getting feedback
Adam,
from
if
me?
I'm following.
Just 1 second. Just 1 sec. Are you guys getting feedback from me, or is your audio okay? Thanks. Great.
Oh yeah,
feedback.
we're fine.
You're fine. It's not feeding back. Okay, great.
Oh,
Can I ask Adam a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go on, dude.
Okay, I just. So Adam, when he says here, consists of the particles, how does Whitsitt went to Tesla yesterday as a source. That's the way he looks at things. He's not sure, but it's his opinion. How does view of particles and atomism into that situation? He went to Tesla.
Yeah, I don't know. I was looking up to try and get a better understanding of what was being described yesterday, and Tesla was mentioned, hence why I'd gone there to look at what he viewed electrons as. I say I'm just surprised. I was expecting to hear a different tale, but fundamentally he's describing it as not further decomposable particle of matter. So, a bit of feedback there, Nathan.
Yeah, I'm
no
trying to figure
further
it out.
inference
Talk
on
amongst
that.
yourselves. I'm hoping you'll sort this out. I'm obviously having technical issues.
I did not understand where he was going with it because I brought it up to Whitsitt, and he said not only Ken Wheeler, but Tesla, and he named a few other guys, and he called them heavyweights. Heavyweights in what, and what did they prove?
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's why I was looking into it. So if anyone is listening, they can.
So did you find anything, Adam?
Well, no, other than that, a disagreement with how atoms are constructed, but not necessarily a disagreement of them being particulate and matter. And so more interesting with the electron. That's what I wanted to look at, because I say issues with the model, but not issues with the philosophy, if you see what I mean. That was the word used yesterday. What was his philosophy of an electron, I suppose. So,
Adam, when he says not further decomposable, does he meaning actual size can't be any smaller?
That's it, yeah. Well, this is quite interesting. The idea of the atom being formed of electrons and protons which go whirling round each other like a miniature sun and planets is an invention of the imagination. That's what I've said, a convention, yeah, and has no relation to the real nature of the matter. Wouldn't disagree with that. You can think of atoms like current buttons if you stick them within this model. You don't have to have that solar system viewpoint, even if you want to keep protons, electrons, and neutrons. Virtually all progress has been achieved by physicists, discoverers, and inventors, in short, devotees of science, which Newton and his disciples have been and are propounding. Personally, it's only efforts in this direction which have claimed my energies. Similar remarks might be made with respect to other modern developers of thought. Take, for example, the electron theory. Perhaps no other has given rise to so many erroneous ideas and chimerical hopes. Everybody speaks of electrons as something entirely definite and real. Still, the fact is that nobody has isolated it and nobody has measured its charge, nor does anybody know what it really is. In order to explain observed phenomena, atomic structures have been imagined, none of which can possibly exist. So again, I wouldn't disagree with that. But that's what I found interesting. Okay, so what is his philosophy? And then that's, let's say, when we go to that, still here, he's atomistic. Not in a different philosophical viewpoint. He's like most people saying, yeah, that's a convention. It's not real. That's not exactly what's inside that atom. And he's questioning it more fundamentally, but he's still saying an atom. And then when he gets to an electron, I had established radioactive rays, X-rays, etc. He's talking like list of particles of primary matter, not further decomposable. So that, to me, keeps it in that. So like I said, that not moving into an etheric philosophy there. There may be overlap, but in of itself, talking about the atom itself, electrons, they are particulate units.
So Adam, is he saying that in his view, the radioactive rays consisted of particles of primary matter not further decomposable as the smallest unit of measurement, and then that's why he doesn't agree with what he said earlier, the model that was expressed, which was part of the imagination?
I can only say what I've seen there, and that's why I'm putting it out there. If people's got any further, I'd like to read a bit more, but that doesn't seem to be, if like I say, the philosophy that was espoused yesterday in terms of what greats like Tesla would.
He's saying it right here. Saying it right here, Adam, right there in number 5. Before the electron theory was advanced, okay, which he just expounded on. He said, I had established that radioactive rays consisted of particles of primary matter, no further decomposable. So you can't take it to any smaller unit in the description. It's the way I'm reading it.
Yeah. And he's saying, obviously, people have demonstrated the electron even more now before the electron theory was advanced. So he's kind of claiming posthumously that one of the components of an electron is you can't break it down anymore into smaller points. But he's already saying, well, I'd prove that. I think, like I said, back in 1896 is what he's saying there.
Okay.
I just found that interesting. I said so.
So using it as a descriptive manner, it's been broken down more than Tesla is willing to do, and says this is unit that I got to, correct?
I don't think he's attacking anybody there. He's just saying, look, claiming it whilst other people have made claims and advanced the electron theory, he'd already established as a primary particle of no further decomposable. Saying, I'd done that before you lot, don't you lot claim that? I'd already showed that in 1896.
Right, but it's missing one key word, imagination, where he applied it to the other, but not to his.
There is that.
It was previously, it's just a imagination, he said in the article before, or the sentence before. So he's saying, I'm not going into that imagination world, is what I'm getting out of it. This is where I've taken it to.
Uh-oh. Yeah, sorry for all the technical issues. Shout out to Sebastian Tello, who says, good morning, gentlemen, from the super chat. Really appreciate the support.
Atmosphere, it's... My investigations brought out the astonishing fact that the effects of high altitude are on an entirely different nature. These particles from celestial bodies at very high temperature are charged to their own enormous electrical potential. So it seems that he's claiming it carries more in a vacuum, and that a lot of the charge dissipates once there's something for it to dissipate too. So maybe that's got kind of some etheric component to it. But again, that doesn't sound the case because it's based in the physical, because it's saying in a vacuum, able to a higher charge than when it's in the atmosphere, and there's an energy loss when it an entropy. But again, see, that doesn't seem etheric. That seems based in the physical and charge carrying. Anyway, there we go.
I'm very grateful that you're keeping this conversation going while I'm trying to sort out what I'm doing.
Are you back, Nathan?
I am back. I'm just trying to figure out how everything needs to be wired up slightly differently.
I hear you at all, really.
Can you not hear me?
Really, really, really quiet.
I'm just quiet. Sorry, you're saying I'm quiet?
Yeah, I can hear you, but very low.
Okay. Right. Well, keep talking amongst yourselves if you wouldn't mind.
No, we'll continue.
Yes, please.
So, where were you, Adam?
I was just concluding that that's what he's got at the moment until further investigation.
Yeah. I'll have a little look in chat if anybody sticks out over the next few days. I'd like links to out. So
what would radioactive rays fall into category-wise?
I think he's just talking about cosmic rays that were picked up on plates and stuff. I'm assuming that's, like I say, it's hard. It's just a little quote, just looking into electrons that I looked up. But I don't want to draw inference that necessarily correct. Do you know what I mean? So.
Well, he did say a particle. He didn't say.
Hold on.
Wave.
Did you say cosmic rays?
Yeah. So, and that's the only pertinent bit, Temp, was that clearly defining it like that.
Right, but he called it a particle.
Yeah. No longer divisible or decomposable. You can't break it down into any other parts.
So how does that stand into contrast with waves when he calls it a particle?
Well, I suppose that's my question, isn't it? How does it? I'm sure there's an explanation out there. You know what I mean? I'm sure the guys have done that. So that's what I'm asking for. If anyone can point me towards that, is there an integration and a differentiation of the two things, or is it just wholly explained in an etheric way as well? But from what I read there, that just didn't seem to be what Tesla was describing. He was giving.
I don't know, Adam. When you say cosmic rays, I'm thinking of the Silver Surfer. Do I have the power of cosmic?
That's the term back then, isn't it? So I can't remember when it is that we break it down as particles and when it's identified as that. But that's the old term. Even in the B movies, it's cosmic rays still, isn't it, coming from outer space?
Yes.
I'd have to look that up when that was determined as particles, but
Britannica says September 27, 2021, cosmic ray, a high-speed particle, either an atomic nucleus or an electron that travels through space. Most of these particles come from a source within the Milky Way galaxy, are known as thick cosmic rays, CRs. The rest of the cosmic rays originate either from the sun or almost. And I'm not going to read the rest.
How am I coming in now? Is that any better?
High-speed particle, according to.
Can you guys hear me?
You're still low voice volume.
Nathan, very low, very slim.
Right now, is that any
slim
better?
voice.
How about now? Is that any better?
No.
Is that any better?
What'd you say?
No.
No, not any better.
No, just still the same level of low sound.
Ugh. Okay.
What were you saying, Dent?
Hi, Adam.
Check.
Hello? Hello, did I lose everybody?
No.
Hey, Owen.
Oh, and
You're on mute, Owen.
Well, it can be a short show today.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to round out and give
Make
up
up
on
for
trying to-
yesterday.
I'm gonna give up on trying to fix this during a live show. It's probably the worst decision you can make to try and fix something like this during a live show. But there we go.
I was trying to get a conversation with Owen, but he's not hearing me.
Yeah, it's good to know I can depend on you guys when the going gets tough. With that,
I'm
going to say another huge, massive, enormous thank you first and foremost to both Discord and G+ panels for bailing me out while my technical issues have taken place. But if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow, probably be short. But yes, I've been Nathan Oakley and I'll see you all in the next video.
What a lovely day!